everyone, and welcome to Project Cars 2. The SMS-R Championship is back. I'm at, well, round 2, and it's Monza. And as you can see, it's raining, so we knew there'd be a wet round somewhere in this championship. We didn't know which, and then I had a feeling it might be Monza, and then it turned out it was Monza. So obviously, we've got to get out there very quick in qualifying and do a lap. Now, apologies if you can't hear the sound. The sound is bugged. During the recording, it did that stuttering thing that you've experienced in the live streams occasionally. So what I've done for the main race is I've managed to record the sound of the replay and attach it in certain ways so you get sound there. Fortunately, not in qualifying, but I'll explain what's going on in qualifying and then we will jump to the race. So of course, we've got to get around as fast as we can. We have to get that lap time done on the driest possible circuit so that at least we get a competitive lap time in there. So we got out fairly quick, only a few cars up ahead of us, lots of cars behind us, so we're at a certain advantage at this point. Some guys are obviously going for the slipstream. Whoa, nearly go off circuit there at the exit of Lesmo too. Some guys are obviously going to go for the slipstream. Other guys are just going out there for the fast lap. You see Jardier pulling to the left-hand side. So Jardier waiting for his teammate Leon, the sick one. And then they're going to have a bit of slipstreaming action on their fast lap. So coming through here, you can already see the raindrops coming down now. The good thing about Project Cars 2, the amazing thing actually, it's one thing I really love about the game, is live track. The fact that, you know, the track does get wetter, that puddles do start to appear. You can see the spray starting to now pick up on the cars, so the track is getting worse and worse and worse. So obviously the track constantly evolving is just brilliant. I absolutely love it. Going through here, we're hoping to get Magic Michael's slipstream here. Of course, Magic Michael, we first raced him in the Ginetta Cup a long time ago in Project Cars 1. That was my first ever esports race in Project Cars. First ever race in Project Cars as well, I believe. And Magic Michael wasn't in TRL, he was just called Michael, but everyone kept saying Magic Michael. So that's how he got his name, I believe, anyway. So coming down to this first chicane, all the same, we hit the braking. Still struggling with this braking. You know, as we turn, instantly the car rotates. So I see ACR coming through there, so I just hang back here, let them go, and then pull in behind. I could have literally tried to dart out of the way another way and maybe got in the way, but, you know, I'm not like that. I just like to get out of the way as best as I can. So Jardier actually got pole position on that lap. Now, of course, because the track is getting wetter and wetter, this is the next lap on. It's obviously going to be slightly slower than my previous lap, or faster. It was slower if I'd actually had a perfect lap. Going through here, just have a bit of an issue here on the exit. Get lots of oversteer. And I see Nestor is catching me here quite quickly, so I'm just being aware of that. Of course, I've got every right to complete my lap. Through the first Lesmo we go. Just run a little bit wide there, the curb slowing me down a little bit as we come to the second Lesmo. Through there we go. Still no puddles for me, which is good, but we get out the way there. We feel like we've lost the time. And in reality, we probably shouldn't. We should have just carried on because, again, it's a drying circuit, but it didn't cross my mind. I let Nestor go and I come in behind. And I was thinking more about slipstream as well. If I can get hold of Nestor's slipstream, potentially, and get a quicker lap in. Not realising the track is getting very wet very, very quickly. So through the Ascari we go as we now advance a little bit quicker as we head towards the start finish line again. So you can see the times are all over the place at the moment. Top left hand side, you know, plus 2.3, plus 3.7, plus 4.6. You know, people are struggling to get their laps in, but here we go for a fast lap. So we've got the slipstream here into the braking zone. Absolutely not a problem this time. So we're staying with Nestor. Through there we go as we now head towards the second chicane. And this is all to demonstrate that the track is getting slower now. So we're coming into the braking zone. Down to second gear, you can see the car is twitching. You see that vibration on the front end. I don't know what it is. It causes so much of an issue. But we're down on our time. Even though we'd messed up, you know, the first chicane and part of the second chicane there on the exit. We're still down on our time. So it shows you that the track is getting wetter. And therefore, we are losing time. So we lost a lot of time. We really should have just carried on that lap. Through here we go now. And we're just in the slipstream, I think, but we have a big incident there, just going wide at the exit of Lesmo 2, so we lose that slipstream. You know, the minute you touch the grass, you start sliding all over the place, which, you know, would happen in reality as well. As we now come to Ascari, breaking down, in we go, just miss the apex. You can see how wet it's getting now with missing apexes. As we now come through here, we can cut that on the left hand side. It's kind of nice that we can do that. Feels more natural to do that. In other games you can't cut that as much, and it feels less natural. See on the left hand side, GTA Matty's got a +1 position. I can't remember what that was for. Something silly, I remember that much. But even so, coming through here, what kind of lap time are we going to do? Sorry, I was about to cough then. As we continue on, you see everybody going in the pits because it's just too wet at this point to do any more laps. So a lot of people just staying in the pits at this point. I say Jardier got that on the first lap, so fair play to Jardier. Leon's up there as well in third place, so it was good teamwork by them. So we're 2.5 seconds off at this point, way off the pace there, and we are starting all the way down in P19 because we didn't get that lap in. Only one guy behind us, of course. As I said previously, the goal for GTA is to get a point. And also to not be last in terms of teams. So let's see what we can do here as we get ready for the start lights to come on. 3 and go. Here we go, kicking off. Bit quicker of a start this time compared to Hockenheim. And Mangate's game actually crashed there. So big incident. Matty caught up in that as well. So I got past Matty. So we head down towards the first corner. Normally there's chaos, of course, at turn 1 at any Monza race. But not too bad here. Lots of side-by-side action. Clean in the grand scheme of Monza, I would say there. A couple of guys pushed out. Storm got pushed out there a little bit. But as I say, in the grand scheme of Monza, I would say that's pretty damn clean. As we continue on now through the Curva Grande, side by side with Aid the Ace from JSR. Of course, we want to beat JSR coming into this braking zone. And just gets me around the outside. Fair play there. TX3 getting caught on the chicane as well. I'm not sure who that is. It's Ulti on the right hand side coming into this first Lesmo. We're just going to get our nose in there as we then head towards Lesmo 2. And I kind of figured that Ulti will try and get that position. So I try and go for the cutback, which does work. And Ulti gets a bit of a moment on the exit as well. Spins the car there into the barrier. He goes and is going to fall behind the touring cars. But we do gain that position. So up to P15 now from P19. Good race so far. We've got JSR Swomy behind me. JSR Aid the Ace up ahead. And trust me, this is a cracking race. We just lose the car under braking. This is that braking issue I've been having constantly. Instantly hit the brakes. The rear just wants to rotate. Still not sure what it is as we continue on. 3 wide behind me now. We've got Storm. We've got Swomy. And we've got Matty in there as well. Storm can't really do anything else because I'm blocking the way. Look at top right hand side. TV camera. You can see that right there. Nowhere to go as we come into the braking zone. Swomy tries to outbrake me. Doesn't quite do it. I stay really tight here because I'm aware that cars can stick together occasionally. Through there we go. And we're still leading this pack of 4 cars. But Slipstream, of course, is a big thing at Monza. So Storm goes to the right hand side and here comes Matty as well. So Matty screams over Discord, give me space. So I'll let him go through the middle with a Moses maneuver there into the braking zone. We go. We're still side by side with Storm into this first chicane. And we just give each other space. All very well and good. Gets a better exit, of course, because we had to take the title line. So Storm actually gets 2 positions there. Well played by Storm. And we continue on. So P17 now. So we went P19, P15, back to P17. Still 2 ahead of where we started though, which is all good for me. So we're behind Matty, we're behind Storm. Now this is the highlights of this race, but a lot of action in this, of course, because it's Monza. So a lot of the race is happening at the moment. Come into that braking zone there. We did outbrake ourselves a little bit, just getting used to the car in this race conditions. As we then come into the right hander, just run a bit wide again. Just holding up Swomy a little bit here. As we come into the second Lesmo, you can see we're very close to a lot of guys still up ahead, which is good. The one nice thing about Monza, when it's dry at least, is that cars stay very close. Even if you're 1, 2, 3 tenths off the pace, we're obviously a bit more substantial than that. You can still battle with guys that are quicker than you because of Slipstream. It keeps you in play with the fighting. So up ahead, still battling going on through Ascari. It's Aid the Ace and Tejpek with Storm following close behind, then Matty, then myself, then Swomy. So a big gaggle of cars in. Look at the top right hand side. Lots of cars close together. All sorts of action can happen in this race. And it's wet in qualifying. It's dry at the moment, but yeah, remember I said it's going to be a wet race. So there will be changing weather conditions, should we say, which you will see it later on. As you can see, because I'm struggling with my brakes so much, I've checked my anti-lock brakes and I've checked auto clutch now, just to make sure that everything is set as it should. So it should be auto clutch off, it should be ABS on low. That way it's not interfering as much, but I still feel it's coming on much earlier than everybody else's who's leading the pack essentially. Going to this braking zone again, we get very close here. Just have to dab the brakes again in this second part there, but Swomy sees it, so that's really good racecraft there by Swomy to know that the brake is going to happen here. Constantina effect and all that lot. So, it's good stuff. Big shout out to JSR, by the way, because this race is fantastic. absolutely brilliant fun to race these guys. They race fair and clean. And it's nice to have that. So, you know, we're not fighting for the lead necessarily, but we can actually have a bloody good race. Going through here, I nearly flipped the car. So I stayed to the left. At this point, I sort of gave that position up way too easy for my own good there. So when he goes down the inside, it gives me a bit of space on the exit, which is very nice, and gets that position. But lost a fight for, so, you know, I wasn't worried too much. But, you know, in my opinion, I did give up that position way too easily. So, continue on. We're now down to P18. Ulti's quite far behind. Had to get through all those touring cars. So, you know, 13, 14 seconds behind. I'm not too worried about that at the moment as we head towards Ascari once again. Again, you can see it's not just me having issues with the braking there. Swomi had the exact same problem there. Under braking, the whole car just rotated. So, had an issue there. And that gave me a bit of confidence because I knew it wasn't just me struggling with the brakes suddenly out of nowhere. So then I went to the left-hand side of Swomi, hoping to get past. Of course, as I say, we as a team, we don't want to come last, and we want to try and get a point on the board. Because it's Monza, there's every chance of getting that point. Carnage can happen at any point. I've mentioned the weather as well. So our goal, of course, is to just try and make way as best as we can, get past as many people as we can, and hopefully have a good race. Which, of course, we are having at the moment. I mean, you know, we've not skipped any part of the race at the moment because we're still fighting Swomi here as we head down towards the first corner, braking around the 150-meter board. Third, second gear. Swomi defends that very nicely, so I just pull in back behind him. I don't want to, obviously, go side by side too much because we don't want to lose the slipstream ahead. But just in front of Matty is ADA, so it's JSR, GTA, JSR, GTA. Superb racing there. So as we head towards the second chicane now, side by side, Matty and ADAs as they head towards the chicane. Obviously, side by side is a bit sketchy in here, but they managed to make it work through the second parts. Just gets twitched by the curb, and then I suddenly go, hello, I'll have this. I go to the right side. I just keep it on circuit. 3 wide into Lesmo 1, sorry, and I managed to keep it. I kept my line there very tight because I knew we were 3 wide. I did say on Discord as well we were 3 wide. Matty had no idea I was on the inside there, but that's fair racing. That is what I like about racing these JSR guys. We had an absolute laugh, and you can see that with my smile on the left hand side. It's brilliant fun. You saw Sonic there had a bit of an issue at Lesmo 2, so we're up to P14 now. But I'd say through that second chicane, I just saw the opportunity arise. Just the curb caused that slight collision between those two, and I went for it ahead. ADA said he didn't even realise I was there initially. I was just like, whoa, give me room, mate, is what I said on Discord. And he gave me room. He saw I was there, 3 wide into there, and it was clean as a whistle. What more can you ask for in terms of clean racing? Brilliant stuff. But we continue on. We're now behind Tejpek, of course. And this whole gaggle of cars is still there. So Tejpek, myself, Matty, Swomi, ADAs, all in with a fight. Murphy's only just up the road, which is P12. So all to play for as we come down the start-finish straight. Tejpek initially goes right, but leaves a gap open there. So I go into that gap to come into the braking zone. Try to outbrake Tejpek, which I managed to do just. And then I'm going to try and stop on the apex here. Tejpek trying to go for the cutback. Doesn't quite work on the exit. We're now side by side. A little bit of contact there. Nothing major. Continue on. Just a job we didn't stick as we now go around the Curva Grande side by side. But of course, I'm aiming for the inside for this next turn. As you can see, we're gaining a little bit of pace there, which is a bit unusual. And Matty's coming through as well, trying to at least, as we come into the chicane. So I tried to go for the outbreak again. I just manage it. I stop it on the apex, and that's me done, taking that position. Up to P13 now from P19. It's going well so far in this race as we now come into Lesmo 1. Lots of cars behind. You can see that battle. This kind of racing I love. You know, you're not fighting for the win, but you're fighting for fighting for position, but with a really good battle. You know, and the fact that we were 3 wide Lesmo 1, I said before, just great fun, absolutely great fun. Continuing towards Ascari now, I did get worried here that Tejpek might go for the move. Of course, it's a very sketchy move to do it at Ascari, really, and it doesn't quite do it. It actually runs a little bit wide there, so we're going to speed up the footage a little bit here. So yeah, 2 wide into Ascari never works ever on any game. I've never seen it work ever. It just slows everybody down hugely. So I'd highly recommend nobody ever does it. And you know, we didn't do it there, and we didn't lose that much time. Tejpek coming back at me now. So coming into this braking zone. Do we keep it? We outbrake ourselves a little bit, lose the rear again, and Tejpek goes for a lovely cutback there. Absolutely brilliant move. Obviously going to get that job done because we got an absolutely horrific exit. Just pushes me over a little bit. I wasn't too happy with that. I did say, at least give me a little bit of space, mate. But even so, we continue racing. It's a lovely move by Tidgney on the exit of that chicane. Obviously saw I was losing the car in the exit. Slight tap down Tidgney, but that's nothing major there. Easily made the corner. I certainly wouldn't have tried to do a push to pass there. I'd have let him continue on all the same. I found Tidgney was braking a little bit early compared to other drivers, which is what I was struggling with a little bit, which is why there was a slight tap there. But I say, no harm, no foul. We keep racing all the same. And this real big battle of 5 cars continues here. GTA, JSR and TX3 Tidgney. So, continue on towards Ascari now. Can we get the move done? Of course not at Ascari, but on the exit it would be lovely if we can. But nah, we absolutely nail that. Matty nearly rear-ends me there. I did brake slightly bit early. Going through here. Do we have to take this slow down? That was my worry. So I'm obviously just hoping that that disappears because I just want to race. That's all I'm after doing. So as we head towards the Parabolica, is it going to apply a penalty? We will find out. And just coming into here again, thought Tidgney broke really early, and you can see that I tried everything to avoid him there, and I hit him, and he still made the corner quite easily. Fortunately, that got rid of the slowdown as well because I slowed down that much. So there was a slight tap there. He kept the position. He actually gained a bit of an advantage. I lost out there quite significantly. You're wondering why I went to the right there? Matty was screaming on Discord, slipstream, slipstream. Because obviously he's fighting with Swomy at this point. Going into the braking zone. Swomy trying to go around the outside of the chicane. Be a bloody good effort if he gets this done. Give him room on the exit. So we accelerate out the corner now. I'll have the better exit, of course, of the first part of that chicane. But he's going to have a little bit of slipstream from Tidgney because Tidgney went to the left initially, side by side through the Curva Grande. And, well, second chicane, if you've got the inside, you're going to have it. So Matty gives me a bit of a push. Does it work out, though, as we head down into this chicane? We still side by side. This is lovely stuff. And similar to before, we just clipped that curb there. It cost us some speed. Obviously keeping it clean again. And, yeah, we managed to do that. Just give ADS a little bit of space there. But he loses the rear mid-corner. Really unfortunate because that could have been a good move by ADA. So Swomy gets the position. So it's now JSR, GTA, JSR. So we advanced a little bit further on in the race. As we come through the Curva Grande, we've caught up to Tidgney once again. And it is still JSR, GTA. Sonic's got in there. I think there was an incident between Sonic and ADA somewhere on circuit. So, you know, this battle of 5 has gone down to the battle of 4 now. As we continue on, Swomy looking for the move down into Lesmo 1. Does he get it done? He doesn't. Although, you know, he would have made that corner. Slight bit of contact. Nothing major there. But coming to Lesmo 2, I realised they're side by side here. So Swomy's going to have a really bad exit. And I realised straight away. So I went for a really good run. That has paid off like massively. Because obviously it's a tighter line. Therefore, slower speed, slow apex speed. Gives you the advantage as a driver. So we made that move before Ascari, and we can start now chasing Tidgney. Tidgney's just having a mixture of JSR and GTA around him all the time. Through Ascari we go. I actually love Ascari in this layout, in this game. I think it suits it better. You know, the fact it can cut that much. And we're just seeing rain droplets on the screen now. So this is when the rain is going to appear. Now, I was discussing with Matty whether to be a hero, as I've done in the past on Project Cars 2, stay till the end on the dries, or to, you know, go on the wet tyres. And we were discussing this every lap. Should we come in now or should we not? Should we come in now? Should we not? Wasn't too sure, to be honest with you, because sometimes the live track the track can go soaking. Sometimes it can't. As we come into the braking zone, Tidgney just moved right near the braking zone there. I wasn't too happy with that, to be honest with you, because it was, it was right in the braking zone. You could see I was on the right side. To do it right at the end was quite significant. Swomy missed his braking there slightly. Did everything to avoid me, so fair play to that. Tidgney is now coming in the pits. So we're going to continue on, because I still thought it was a bit too dry to actually make that work. As we now continue on a bit further in the lap, we're now catching the touring cars at a really significant time as well. So what I had done is I'd asked to go in the pits earlier in the lap to my pit crew. So as we leave that now, you can see the puddles starting to build. So I realised quite quickly this is going to be an absolutely soaking circuit, very, very fast. We've got spray off the tyres. 12 minutes in the dry will not work. I accidentally hit the camera change there, so I had to get it back quick. But you can see now on the right side it says pit box currently occupied. And I was confused because they'd already confirmed my pit stop. So I was still coming in anyway. I didn't care. I was still coming in. I didn't think you could do another lap. Coming into here, the touring car got back past me, and then he broke there, and I was a little unsure. I reckon I could have made the break in here, but I came off the brakes, not realising that it doesn't automatically go to the pit limiter, and I got a 10-second penalty for something I didn't realise. Now, look on the right side, everyone's getting really confused. I was like, can I go in my pit box or not? I wasn't sure, so I was like, I'm not waiting here forever. Tried it, and it got me in. So if you look at the top right-hand side, Murphy is actually moving about in the pits because he can't find his pit box. So you see him there just moving about, trying to find it. We found it, luckily. But, yeah, as I say, I was very confused with this. Fortunately, I had set up a pit strategy. I did mention in the driver briefing several times they need to explain, you know, the pit strategy a little bit better. I don't know the tyre pressures, by the way. I just left them as default. I could have been on such high pressures that it was crazy for me. But, you know, other guys didn't even set up a pit strategy because they had no idea. Not everybody was Project Cars 2 players. So I was a little bit disappointed in that sense because, as you'll find out, Tidgney is still on dry tyres, Topa is still on dry tyres, and a few other guys are still on dry tyres as well. So it was fairly significant hit. Fortunately, I could go in the pits. Even though my pit box was full, I just went in anyway all the same. So you see Tidgney really struggling there. You can see he's on dry tyres straight away. I think if he was on wet, I think his earlier pit stop would have been a significant advantage actually. But even so, we continue on around the outside Curva Grande. He's just got no grip at this point. So as we approach braking zone, I realise that, by the way, so I'm very aware of my rear view mirror at this point. So I'll stay in the middle just to see the corner. And as I come into this braking, I suddenly see this car coming from nowhere. So you watch me slam on even more here. I slammed on right on the apex because I saw that car come in. Fortunately, Tidgney lost full control, hit the touring car there at Dalking, and that obviously cost the touring car a lot of time, and it's obviously ruined Tidgney's race as well. He did say sorry in chat, but dry tyres monsoon, can't really do much. I'm just so glad I was looking at the rear view camera, seeing that coming. You saw me slam on right on the apex because I just saw it coming. I was like, no, you're not hitting me. Did everything to avoid me, to be fair, did Tidgney. So we continue on all the same. You see a couple of guys who just come in the pits this lap. I think that was too late. I'm not sure how they're going to get on later on. Up ahead, we've got touring cars again. So Christian there runs a little bit wide here. This slows me down massively. Came back on circuit and, yeah, I had to basically slam on it. It cost me a significant amount of time, especially the run out of Ascari as well, because obviously I'm losing all this time down the straight. Matty and Swomi coming back into the picture here for the remainder of the race. As we now approach the parabolic once again, just behind Popsu at this point. And you can see the puddle starting to build on some of the apexes there, right at the end of that curbing on the parabolica. You can see a puddle, so get a bit of slipstream off Popsu and go around the left hand side. So now we've got to be careful of puddles. So as we continue on, I think Topa was in the pits there. We're now overtaking James, so we're in P10, which I'm super happy about. Matty tells me actually over Discord that I'm actually in a point scoring position. I was like, what? So we just brake here. We're not going to make that touring car in time of Mr. Van Omen, so we just, you know, pull in behind, let Mr. Van Omen take his line, and then we'll accelerate out the corner and then overtake on the straight. That's the safest way to overtake these touring cars. They're actually much better than the GT3 cars in the corners sometimes, and especially in the braking zone. They've got really good brakes. So you look on the right side, you've got puddles there all around the Curva Grande. As we now head towards the chicane again, just coming in towards the touring cars. Just going to have to settle ourselves behind. Just being careful here, just trying to survive at this moment in time. We've got 8 minutes left, and we're in the battle for a point here. It's me, it's Swomi and Matty there. So look at the puddles on the right hand side. You've got to be so careful that if you touch one of those, you go absolutely flying. As we come into the second one, this one was even worse, and I just hit one there, and it sent me understeering off. And then I get caught on the curb and it pulls me off. So Swomi goes through, and then Matty's going to go through as well. Fortunately, I don't hold the touring car up too much, so I'll let Matty go here. You see that puddle under that bridge as well. That becomes significant later on as we now go into Ascari. So if you look up ahead, Swomi is now going to go round, and it's just going to absolutely spin. So you hit the puddle there, the same one I just hit there as well, where the rear went round. So the puddles build very quickly, and if you hit one, you do go flying, as I say, and you just saw Swomi go flying. But look, guys, Matty's in P10. I'm in P11. We've got a 6-second advantage, 7-second advantage over Murphy. 7 minutes to go. Can we hold on to get this point? That was our goal here. So I was going to try and be Matty's wingman as best as I could. All we had to do was get to the end of the race as clean as possible. Can we do it? That is the question. Obviously, I've got a 10-second penalty, so I'm obviously going to be 10 seconds further behind irrespective. So it's all on Matty here. I wasn't going to fight Matty. So we passed Karki there. Polish driver into the braking zone again. And Matty had started saying to me, you know, the wet lines are working here. If you brake offline, you'll actually get much better braking. So that's why I was starting to follow Matty, because Matty was sort of investigating this, and Matty is really good at instantly getting on the pace. I'm more of a driver that likes to practice this stuff. Had to not practice the wet. I was actually the slower driver as well. So, you know, just listen to Matty, listen to what he says, braking here, doing this. It just helped massively. So good teamwork between me and Matty. We're normally not serious on this stuff, but because we were going for a point, we were like, oh my word, you know, we're going to do this. But you see us still laughing, or see me laughing anyway in the bottom left. So you can see we're taking sort of wetter lines now, staying off that racing line. In real life, that racing line becomes very slippy because of all the rubber, etc. So it's actually better to be offline and then brake offline as well. Just saves getting slippy. You see Matty hit that puddle at the apex of Lesmo 2 there, causing some issues. You can see a couple more guys have left. That's just because of the pit strategy issue. As we come under the bridge, I'm just letting off here a little bit. That puddle is ever growing under that bridge. It really, really is. Going into Ascari. Sometimes, actually, when braking offline, it really helped. Oh, we hit that puddle again. Don't do that, Tidge. Don't do that. But yeah, braking offline, we can actually brake later than we could in the dry in some strange manner. Which was really nice, actually. Really, really nice. As now we continue on a bit later on. Yeah, I've got 3 minutes to go, but Murphy is only 3 seconds behind now. So Murphy's been flying. I can tell you Murphy was actually going faster than the leaders on some of these laps in the wet. He really was flying, so I was worried. I was very, very worried. You can see in the bottom right hand side, Suomi was 10 seconds behind Murphy. So at that point, it's like, sorry, it's behind me. So at that point, it's like, well, you know, I can still keep that position. So I'm not too worried. As we now come into the right-hander, I'm avoiding that apex for all my life because of the puddles. We've just got one more driver to overtake in terms of the Challenger class, which is Operator. Operator stayed out on the dry tyres. It's an unbelievable performance. Obviously, front-wheel drive working a little bit better there in that touring car. So we go past nice and easy. I didn't know he was on dry tyres at the time, but he's so far ahead. And he does actually win the Challenger class in this race by doing that strategy. So, you know, he was the hero here in the wet. As we go through this chicane once again. And we're going to advance a little bit further on now in the old race. There we go. So we're about to approach the final lap. Murphy is 1 second behind me now. And obviously we want this we want this point. We so want this point. So can we get it? So I'd say to Matty, I'm going to be your wingman at all costs. I'm going to defend for my life here, just to make sure Matty gets this point. I'd say Murphy was flying. He really was flying in the wet. So coming into this first chicane, we broke a little bit early again. That's why I said we could brake later than we were doing. So coming through there, look how close Murphy is now. Really, really close. As we continue on now towards the second chicane. Again, I'm going to go super, super defensive here. That was my goal. I wanted to stay defensive, make sure I kept, you know, be Matty's wingman, basically. Can I be Matty's wingman? So here we go. Coming to the braking zone. I brake. This time the car doesn't brake as fast, and I lose the rear, and I just stop it on the apex completely there just to avoid hitting Murphy on the exit. So Murphy gets that position. My wingman skills are very poor, apparently. So Murphy goes through, and as you can see, Suomi's actually quite close, so I've got to be careful of this 10-second gap. As we come into the second Lesbo, you can see Murphy's just pulling away from me. Look at the speed he's got. Absolutely unbelievable. As we now head towards the bridge. Now look at the puddle here. Look at Murphy first of all hit the puddle. Well, watch your rear end of his car. And same with me as well. It just forces you right. The whole of the car gets so unstable there. As we now approach Ascari one last time through. Here we go. Trying to be as nice and steady through the second part and on to the exit. Now Matty's got one corner. Now telling him, Matty, just be safe. Just be safe. So as we head towards the parabolica now, can Matty keep it? You can see that gap in the top right corner on the TV camera. See Murphy is catching constantly, really taking a lot of risks, and he did say that after as well. But Matty comes out of the parabolica. You can see the smile break on my face. We're going to do it in the flashy lights. We're so happy because we actually get a point. GTA get a point on PCars 2 in the SMS-R. We have no idea why we're so off the pace, but the fact we got a point, we're so happy. Because that means it's going to be much easier for us not to come last in terms of the teams, and you know, a lot less pressure on us. So we got a point. And we're not last in the teens. Our goals are being achieved at the moment. As your final results, Magic Michael taking the victory. I'm not sure. This is provisional before any penalties are applied. They do apply a few penalties afterwards. But yeah, we got a point. That's all we're after. So I hope you enjoyed that race. Obviously, quite a long video, nearly half an hour. Or actually, it's over half an hour. I say I hope you enjoyed it. The previous race is there on your screen. My logo's there if you want to subscribe. But that's it for now for me. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you in the next video.